Okay, so here we are. Kerri and Heidi show brought to you by Kerri and Heidi outside today because it's freaking gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
This is going to roll more like a conversation, and she and I just have some little nuggets to share with you because we just want to help so much. I
And we're
think
both like
this
health
kind of
gurus and registered. I'm a registered dietitian,
Regis nerd, you're a Regis nerd.
and we do fitness. Oh,
Yeah. So Kerri's background is more nutrition, although we're both like super physical people. Um, Mine is more, well, I've been teaching group exercise for a long time. And I guess how I got into this whole thing is because, you can learn all these things and you should learn them about what is good nutrition and, exercise and all that stuff is really important. But ultimately, you've got to deal with your inner health and your emotional health. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And, I mean, we're not going to tell you anything that you haven't already learned or heard yourself, but just to bring it home a little bit more. Sometimes those things that are floating in the back of your brain, you just got to pull forward and bring them up to the front of your brain.
truth.
So this whole thing came about because Kerri and I were having a conversation, I think it was yesterday, about like, we're talking about the economy and we're talking about what ifs and all this stuff. But we're not so much talking about our health and our immune system. And I just think like, if we're not focusing on that, like what really is the point, So we just wanted to bring it up, bring it up and get real about it.
Yeah. So I think two of the main pillars of health would be connecting to community, which is really hard to do right now, and connecting to your inner self. So let's get chatting about.
Get into
Let's
it.
talk about inner self.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'll start this one off because I think, I coach people. I do life coaching, and every conversation that I've had with my clients in the last week, I've been telling them about this little technique that I came up with. And I did it for my own sanity and sense of peace because I wasn't having peace. And it just became really apparent to me that if I didn't get a grip on my emotional health, that I was going to compromise my immune system. And I swear to God, I have actually made myself physically sick before by not being on top of this stuff. So now is a good time to get this one down, because if you don't, fear can take over your body. It's real. It starts in your emotions, but it can go to your physical self. And I'm sure you guys know that already. So
Especially
the
with
other morning I
the
woke up and I was having a lot of anxiety, and I thought, I have got to, for the sake of my family, and also being the mom of the house or the woman of the house. I mean, I think men would admit this also, that the woman's energy controls the vibe of the house. And so we owe it to the entire vibe of our house, which is what we've got control over right now, to put out some good stuff. So how do you do that? So I was laying in bed and I just closed my eyes and just did like a full body scan and checked in with spots that seemed tender. And that's the word I use for it. They're just some spots that need a little bit of extra love. And, people carry their feelings in their gut or in their chest or in their throat or in their head. So you can go through the body and feel what's not feeling right. And it's a feeling of tightness or resistance. So that's how you can find it in your body. So that's the first part, is just to have that awareness. And you got to kind of discipline yourself to do this, because it's not just going to happen. And you will easily just go right down the rabbit hole of fear and anxiety if you don't do this. So check in with yourself, do this gut check, body scan, go to the parts that need some help and nurture those parts. And how do you do that? Like, how do you self-soothe pretty much instead of going to external sources to make yourself feel better, how do you make your own self feel better by yourself? I know what you're thinking. That works too, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. So
Oh
here
my
it
God.
is. Told y'all it was going to get real. Um,
I want to know, like, when you do that full body scan, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you feel that's tight? Because, like, you mentioned you might have to tune in and you might have to do it more often to kind of figure it out. But and then where do you, if you find out, oh, okay, my stomach is or whatever it is, like, what does it feel like? And then do you try and figure out the root cause, or like, what do you do with
yeah,
that?
those are really good questions. So I'm writing some stuff down so I can remember to address it. So what does it feel like? People, I do a whole exercise with people to really be able to nail that one down. And there's not a general answer for that. You can, you need to visualize the feeling. So something feels not right. So go there first. Whatever it feels that's not right. You know, when people say, I feel sick to my stomach, I feel um,
Oh
tight
yeah, like
neck, you know,
anxiety might be that or something. Yeah, or tightness in
yeah.
the throat.
So
Yeah.
whatever doesn't feel right, you go there. And then you can spend a lot more time on this step if you don't have a lot of experience with this stuff. Because actually, you know, I always take for granted that people know how to kind of tune in with themselves physically, but a lot of people don't. There's a disconnect. So you need to line it up. Is like feel how you're feeling inside, what doesn't feel right, and then you can really embody that. So ask yourself these questions. You know, how? Oh, hi, kitty, kitty. Is it a big feeling? Does it take up your whole stomach? Is it small? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it round? What shape is it? Does it have texture? You know, is it smooth? Is it rough? Is it moving? Is it moving fast? Is it slow? Is it moving in some kind of pattern? What color is it? That's like a whole, you know, coach session. I'd be happy to walk anybody through that. But really kind of figuring out what that feeling is inside of you. And yeah, Kerri, if you go back a little bit deeper, and ask yourself why, you know, why am I feeling anxious about this? You'll come up with the answers really quickly. And that's what I do as a coach is I ask questions because people always, they're programmed to come up with an answer. So, but you could do it to yourself. You can ask yourself those same questions. Why am I feeling this way? Oh yeah, that's why. And you're, like I said, if you just kind of ask that question, it'll come, the answer will come real quick. And then you have to believe it because it's always true. Whatever the answer that pops up, it's totally true. So then the next piece of this thing is a conversation with yourself. And it goes something like this. There's a couple things that need to be included. And one is acknowledgement, like, I know I'm feeling anxious because I'm afraid, you know, I'm going to run out of food, or I'm afraid somebody I love is going to get sick, or, you know, whatever it is, acknowledge what it is. And then this is huge and it's going to sound really crazy, but you need to say thank you because we are animals at heart and we're built for survival. And these are times that are trying our survival instinct. They are there to protect us. These feelings that come up that feel so crappy are actually what keep us alive sometimes. So to acknowledge that and say, hi, anxiety, thank you so much for showing up in my gut like a giant basketball. I know you're just here to protect me. And that really does actually take away a lot of the sting. So when you could do that, have that little conversation with that part that you don't want to deal with, when you actually deal with it in that way, it's like being nice to the monster. It makes it diffuse a little bit. So does that
I like
answer your
that,
question?
Heidi. It's really interesting that you just turn that around and say thank you, because truly, like, that is your body's intuition telling you, like, this something's wrong here and you need to do something about it to change it. Not to change someone, but you need to change you so that you can change your reaction.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the biggest trap that we fall into is as soon as we feel one of those yucky feelings, we just want them gone. Bad. So that's when we do all the coping mechanisms, like that's when we deny it, and that's when we run away from it, and that's when we distract ourselves from it. And that's when we try to change our state using drugs or alcohol or shopping or sex or all that stuff. I mean, this is what we do. So it's the opposite. It's like go there to that spot that's scary and dark and doesn't feel good and handle it at the root. So you have this conversation with yourself and you take care of yourself. I guess the next piece of it is to nurture yourself, getting back to what I was saying before. And how do you do that? Like, how do you make yourself feel better just by talking to yourself? And you can. I got it from a therapist first, and I thought she was nuts. You know, she's telling me to soothe the little girl inside me. I was like, really? Um, yeah.
Then you adapted it.
Well, I, I don't. I mean, there's so many things that sound so hinky. You know, like if you say, talk to your inner child. It's like, really? Like, I don't want to do that. Um, you know, but there's something to it. There's a part of yourself that's the young part, you know, that still carries some pain and there's some unhealed wounds there. And that's true. I mean, call it whatever the hell you want, but it's true. And how do you kind of soothe that part of yourself? You know, you would tell that part of yourself and mean it. You know, I love you unconditionally. I'm here for you. I will never hurt you. You're safe with me. You know, all the things that we look to the outside for people to say to us. You know, you've got the power to do that for yourself. So, what were you going to say about that?
I was going to say, I think that's really a great coping, if you will, mechanism, especially right now when we're also alone and isolated, and all you have to sit with, really, unless you have a million animals like I do, and a partner and a child. Some people are alone, and so all they have to sit with is themselves and their own thoughts. And so if there is a constant thing that's been nagging at you and something that you think is going on, whether it's through that body scan or whether it's through just thoughts coming to yourself, to your mind, like, take care of them,
Yeah.
really.
You know how hard this is for people? I mean, this is like the opposite of what everybody wants to do. Like, we don't want to go there. We just don't even want to go there. And now we have to, because you don't have a lot of options. I mean, you could just kind of watch Netflix the whole time we're quarantined. That's fine. Um, but there's some really beautiful things coming out of this time. I mean, I feel like people, so this is sort of the next piece of connecting with yourself. And it also leads into what Kerri's going to talk about a little bit more, which is connecting with others. So get yourself right first, line yourself up with your inner self first. And then what I've been doing in this little practice every morning, so that's kind of first part. And then the second part is like, how can I be of service? How can I help other people? And you already know this. I mean, everybody's got something to offer, to give. And really, I do believe that's kind of our purpose here on this planet. And so, you know, I teach exercise and get people to move and connect with themselves physically. And I also coach people, and that's how I help and that's how I reach people. And how can you be of service to someone unless you're basically open? You've dealt with your own stuff and you're open to it. And then that's sort of my, I guess, prayer or my intention for the day is like, how can I best open myself up and be of service and give to other people? So hopefully that's helpful for you guys to hear. That's all I got. That's what I've been telling my people all week. So just a
Sure.
reminder, and I'm sure you already know this stuff too. So
Well, hey Heidi, I did have a question. You said that first, get yourself straight. Is that what you do? Is this what you do every morning, or is it something you do at night before you go to bed, or when do you
yeah,
do that?
So I was in the practice of it for a long time, and it was like a gratitude and intention prayer. It used to be, and I made it up myself. I would focus on my breathing, and then I would focus on gratitude, like what I was thankful for, and then I would focus on intention. But I changed it recently because I was waking up with so much anxiety because of all this stuff. I mean, we are all having to sit uncomfortably with the unknown because nobody know, like all of us love to have a sense of security and a sense of control, and none of us have it right now.
Girl,
And
tell me about it. I'm trying to plan a wedding in November. Is it going to happen?
I know there's so many things. I mean, trips planned, and I mean, I don't know, I think about everything, like God forbid somebody I'm close with dies. I mean, could we even have a funeral right now? I mean, it's like there's just, it's,
Right.
that's a pretty morbid thought. um
That is a morbid thought, but that is true. It's real. It's real life. That's
yeah.
what we need to deal with.
So, so how do you, given all of that, basically sit in your dirty diaper? You cannot clean up the mess right now. You're going to sit in your poop, and you're going to deal with it. And the ability, the degree to which you can sit in your poop determines the quality of your life. I swear by it. You know, how uncomfortable can, how much discomfort can you handle and still be at peace with yourself? So all this stuff is happening, it's real. What do you have control over, and how can you be feeling secure in yourself in this situation? And that's what I mean about lining up with yourself. Like, yeah, so it's a practice, it's a discipline, it's a daily practice. Sit down and just be alone with yourself and all your feelings and handle it. Have a conversation with yourself. Be aware of what the sensations are. Be thankful that your body's trying to protect you, and then work through that stuff so you can open everything back up. So,
So I hate to keep asking you questions, but as you, it's so interesting. So as you sit with yourself, and oh, now I can't remember my question. Um,
it'll come back.
okay.
Yeah, it'll definitely come back. But hold that thought, just put it in the parking lot and we'll come back to it, because I'm sure it'll come to you in like 2 minutes. That's usually how it works. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I remember it. And I'll be like, okay, say it. Um, but what you
Oh,
wanted
oh,
to,
I remember.
yay, I knew it.
So, like, as you continue to do this, and as it's really windy here, and as you practice this daily scan, or maybe twice a day, or however often you're doing it, as you practice this, do you become like more peaceful and to become like happier? And then are you able to react? Like, does it change your reactions? Are you calmer? Like, what kind of things do you see from this kind of stuff?
Yeah, this becomes your base. This becomes your home base. So you are going to constantly get external stimulus coming at you. And sometimes it's internal. Like sometimes there's not even a reason that I feel off. You know, there's hormonal stuff, there's stuff that has to do with your nutrition. I mean, it's not even necessarily things that are happening around you, but you're going to have to deal with some stuff all the time, constantly. And the more you strengthen this like home base, the easier it is to come back to it. So that's kind of that's the purpose of this. You make this, and that's kind of honestly what I teach in Pilates is the same thing. I teach people how to be in alignment physically, and it's very foreign to them at first, you know, to line everything up. And then I say, we don't walk in life, we don't live in a straight line, but it's good to know how to get back there. That's your baseline. And then you go from there and you do all the things, and then you come back to home base. So that's really what it is. It's like your sanctuary, it's like your peace. So like no matter what you're dealing with around you, you've got this comfort in coming back to peace. So yeah, I honestly think like there's nothing more important that I can teach somebody. It's really that simple.
Better sleep that way too. Sleep better. Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
sleep better. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're not really at peace with yourself and you try to go to sleep, it's very unsettling, you know? So you can practice it at night. I mean, you can practice it anytime you want. I mean, I guess that's sort of the highest level of consciousness, are people that are in that state all the time, which I'm definitely not. But I know how to get back there. So and what about connecting with people, Kerri? How are we going to do that right now?
Yeah, so besides connecting with yourself and being able to find this inner peace in yourself, or just even if you can't find peace, striving to try to find it, it'll eventually come. Connecting with others. So right now, as we sit alone at home, social distancing, 6 feet apart at least right now. Who knows what it's going to become? And we're not having any friends over. We don't do any of that. Heidi, you're my social life tonight, and actually getting into that. A lot of virtual stuff going on right now is it's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Uh, I had a virtual dinner with my brother and his husband last night. And so just being able to pick up the phone and FaceTime or Skype or Zoom uh, is a great thing to do right now. Making sure to connect with your friends, your family, and a lot of people, might be home alone, might not have roommates or anything like that that they can connect with on a daily basis. So making sure that you are making that connection virtually is big. So
Yeah.
the importance of connection is huge. I feel
Yeah.
like um, even if you're not alone, you have neighbors. I have neighbors behind me. There's a bunch. Um, the studies will say that perceived isolation is worse for you than smoking. So to make sure that during this time of social distancing that you're out there connecting, it's a huge part of your health. Surround yourself with people who support your vision, your purpose, and who share your values. Um, what Heidi, we had a virtual dance party the other night. That
Yeah,
was
we
super
did.
fun.
It was so fun. I
It
know. I was getting
was
really
so
depressed.
fun.
And then one of my friends suggested it, and I was like, that's freaking brilliant and so easy to do. So I even had one of my clients this morning is in her 70s, and she got on Zoom with me and did a Pilates class. So, like anybody can learn this stuff. It's really not that hard.
That's true. Anybody can figure it out. In fact, like Zoom even sends you directions. So
Yeah. And I've found that people are sharing so many cool things right now. Like people are learning how to do stuff. Like I think you were telling me about like a cooking class
oh yeah,
online, right? Yeah,
yeah.
and
My
we'll
mom
get into more of
sent me an
that
email.
stuff.
The article was written by People, I believe, people.com. So you could probably search it. We could also post it underneath this, but it gave a list of skills you can learn during this time.
Yeah,
So Fender, I don't know if it's hit yet, but the first 100,000 people that sign up are going to get free guitar lessons.
yeah. And there's a
And
lot being offered right now for either for free or for pay what you can, because everybody's just trying to help everybody out right now.
it's a great way to connect, learn a new language. I'm going to weed my garden, the Garden of Whedon.
Yeah, the gardening, that's huge. I mean, we're both lucky enough to have some space and to have some outdoors. And I
Yeah.
mean, you guys know, just getting your hands in the dirt and working on projects and gardening, it feels so good. So,
Yep. Get in the dirt and play.
yeah,
Another thing for
you,
health, actually.
yeah, for sure. So, we're going to wrap it up. We want to make it really short and sweet. We're going to come back on line. We're going to try to do this at least once a week. Maybe some more. We've got some other ideas too.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we're going to try and hit the pillars of health, at least that we know of, and then, well, maybe nutrition. We'll talk about movement. We can talk about sleep. We can talk about stress management, environment, all kinds of things that we can talk about. We're going to come back and talk to you, give you some more tidbits.
yeah.
Heidi,
Now,
were we going to do like a meditation Monday?
what's that?
Or are we going to do a meditation Monday?
Sure. Let's do it. We'll do a
Okay.
meditation Monday.
Maybe we could do like a little daily fitness challenge.
Yes, girl. Let's do it.
Okay, so check us on our Facebook page. That's all we got. Insta?
Keep it real. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep it real. We both have some woo woo in us, but are very grounded. So that's what we have in common. And
Woo, but very trained.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Great.
So we're signing off, and come check us out again. We'll post some more stuff. So thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Let's see. Stop recording.
Stop.
Hold
Stop
on.
recording.
Yes, stop recording.